Hello everyone, welcome to this session. I am Sanyukta Saxena and we have been drawing this beautiful Zentangle Inspired Art pieces using different set of tangles every time, trying to be different every time. Yeah, hope you enjoyed the last session and the previous sessions. So let's get started with today's session. So this is a A5 size paper, half of the A4 size, right? And I have drawn the first layer of a tangle called Cyme, Cyme. It is a Zentangle original, and then we build on this layer, right? So that is how we start with the tangle Cyme. So I am going to start inking it now. So just petal shapes arranged like a flower, and that's how the tangle Cyme begins, right? Right. So once we have done that, now what I'm going to do is side by side just add coffering to it, right? So adding a little curve here as I reach the V, the tip of the V, and then going up again, drawing a line here just like we do for cofering, joining the line with the corner, again going down, adding a small round there like this. Yeah, so that's the basic of the tangle Cyme. Now we'll just keep building on it, right? So I'm adding this cofering together, means at the same time, right? So I'm not going to, or you can, that's okay, you can come back to it and add cofering to all the way you wish. Yeah, so I'm doing both the exercises at the same time. So again adding the second layer of petal shapes in between the first, right? So you can give nice curves. I am not giving too much of curve because of my cofering, right? So this is the second layer. Now building the third layer now. Again adding the coffered look at the same time. Take your time, slowly do that exercise in between the petals that you added in the second layer. Right, and I think the last one here, don't bother too much about the size, the shape, more or less the same shape, may be different in sizes, that's okay. Adding another layer now and adding the cofering at the same time, right? Take your time, slowly, patiently draw the petals and add the coffered look. And the last one here. Right? So if you want, you can extend it more. So let's see if we want to add one more layer like this. Right? Take your time. Right? And I think this is the last one here. Right? So done with that. Now it is up to us what else do we want to do, right? But before we go further, let us see. First, let us add something inside. So I've picked up my blue micron, right? So either you can draw with your colored micron or you can draw with black and add some colors at the edges. Both ways it is fine. Yeah. So I'm just going to use my blue micron here. You can also choose a different color, right? So feel free. So going with the fescue shapes. Randomly wherever I feel like. Right? So done with that. Now I'm going to start to aura. Close aura. Take your time, no hurry. Try to keep the aura as close as possible. Just go with the shapes. Take your time. Right? So I've added one. Probably we will add one more before adding orbs in the inside spaces. Whatever space is left. Right? So done with that, and I'm now just going to add some orbs in whatever small spaces that are left. Not much is left. You can even ink very small spaces. Yeah. That's about it. Right? So that is how I'm going to do inside each of these sections that I have made. Yeah. So take your time and slowly do that exercise for all. You just need to add 2 or 3 fescues and probably just one aura. That's about the space that you have in these sections, right? Because they are small. So there is space for just one aura and a few orbs. Right? So I'll go on and do that for all. Slowly. Again, add an aura. Whatever space you have. Squeeze in small orbs. And very small spaces, just ink it in. Yeah. So let me do that exercise. So I have done that for I think 2 layers, right? So I'm now again switch to my black, add some lines with weight at the end for the next layer, right? So what I'm doing in drawing a straight line, adding a slight V at the end and inking it in. Yeah, very commonly used fragment, kind of extension of a tangle called Sena. You can view it in different ways, right? So that's what I'm going to do in one more layer. Start from the center, a line, a small V at the end, ink it in, right? And the other side, same exercise. Take your time, right? The third one, I think it will be this one. Yeah. So I'll do this and then we will move to the next layer. Yeah. So still continuing with the same process. Slowly do that exercise for all sections that you wish to. Right? Probably we will do for this one here. Straight line with some weight at the end, a little V, and ink it in. Yeah, done with that. Now let's move to another one. So up to us, what do we want to insert? There are a whole lot of tangles, right? You can either add some moon, you can add some fescue, hollis, some checks, up to us, right? So let's add some checks, probably the Tangle Knights Bridge. Yeah, so I'm going to do that checkerboard grid for all. Take your time, slowly draw a square grid inside each of these petal shapes. You can draw the grid any ways you want, any direction you want. Sometimes they will look like a checkerboard, sometimes like diamonds. Depends on how you have drawn the grid. Right? So once we are done with that, I'm now going to ink alternate sections. So one inked square at all the four corners of any empty square is the principle. Or alternate squares to be inked, whichever way you find it easy to relate. Take your time. Yeah, so I'll do that for all. The second one, see the drama that it adds to your work because of the ink sections. You always have an option to not ink and add something else, right? But somehow the inking adds a lot to the look. So I'll go ahead and do that for the other sections also. So I'm now on the last one, still inking my Knightsbridge. Take your time, make sure you ink it properly. Zoom in the camera if you wish to, so that you can see how you have inked the sections. Once you zoom in, you will be able to see a lot of gaps, right? So that should not happen, and that's why it's important that you patiently ink the sections nicely in one direction, preferably. Yeah, small little things that you can do to ensure that your inking looks nice. Right, so done with that. Now it is up to us, how do we extend this tangle a little more. So let's do something. Let's add some S shapes, just the way we have in the tangle fangle. Yeah, so what I'm doing is adding some S from these 3 points, the 2 corners and 1 tip, and we'll see how do we place the tangle fangle there, right? So S shapes. So we are taking our shine forward and adding more tangles to it. So the fangle comes down like this, just like somewhat similar to what we do for drawings, right? So we can always add one more here and then bring it back here, one more here, and then take it like this. Let's see. Yeah, first let us do these, and then we shall see if we want to add more, we can do that. So bringing the S down to about half of the previous S, right? So once we are done with drawing our fangle, the next step is to add this aura inside it. We usually do that for the original tangle also, with whatever spaces we have, right? So we had drawn 3, so I'm just going to insert one small one here, or right inside again. So just note the shape and you will not have any difficulty making it even with free hand. Yeah, so I'm just going to continue. 1, 2, 3, and then make one more here, small one, and one here like this. Yeah, so we have spaces in between our fangles, right? So let us see what do we want to do. The inside space, I'm again going to build that connect and insert the glue, but these spaces let us build a little more. Let us see if we can insert some moons here and there, or probably some other tangle which you feel like, right? Anything that you feel like. So wherever I find these beautiful corners or V shapes, I feel like adding my moons there. But it's again up to you, what do you want to add. So feel free to pick tangles of your own choice. So adding 3 layers, adding a moon. Let's see if we want to do something else also. The inside, as I mentioned, I will fill up the same fescues. Right? So I'll just do that exercise and you can draw along with me. Pause, restart, whatever you feel like. Get back to it later. If you think it's not turning out the way you want, that's perfectly fine. Right? So I'll just do that exercise throughout. Add some moons. Yeah. So I've picked up my blue pen once again. Adding again the small fescues, using whatever little space I have to add an aura, and then filling in the tiny spaces with orbs wherever I can. Take your time. And do that exercise. For the inside spaces of the fengal. Yeah. Just adding one aura. Yeah. So I finished that exercise of adding those small fescues and auraing them in the spaces that I had inside my fengal. Now to conclude, I will just add a line here. Add a nice gorgeous shape. Add some auras like this, just like bunzo. And then do the same exercise on the other side also. Like this. This space, if you want, you can just bring it down like this, right? So I will do that on these. Nice gorgeous shape. Curl it in, bring it back like this, and then add some bunzo inside. Again a line here, a nice gorgeous shape, bring it back like this, and some nice bunzos inside. right? So doing the same exercise. Take your time. And one more here. Right? So once you have done that, yeah, now you can ink the bunzos, right? And you, if you wish, you can connect these together with some lines, some let's see, right? If you want to extend it more, we can do that, or we can stop here. But first, let us go back to our bunzos and add a little ink there. Right? So I will do this small exercise for all. So I'm on the last one now, still inking my bunzo. Take your time. Leave a highlight as you ink. Right? So done with that, one small little thing that I can do or we can do is to add a little weight to the inside of the fingers like this. Right? Yeah, I think we are done. So let's first start shading, and then if we want to add something else, we can do that. So pick up your pencil. You can also use your blue chalk if you want to shade with blue. I am going with normal gray graphite pencil. Right? And then each of these sections. So what you can also do here is add another aura inside and then add these fescues, right? In that case, your the fescues will not mingle with your outer cofring. That is also a good idea. So you can add an additional aura before you draw the fescue, but there is hardly any space inside. Your fescues will not be too visible, so I did away with it, but you can do that if you are drawing a bigger shine. Yeah, again on this section. Here where lines are intersecting, a touch is all you require, not much. Right? So let us blend this much first. You can also add some graphite here. adding on the intersections everywhere. Yeah, you can also add on the knight's bridge. Just on the whites would be enough. Take your time, go to each section and add the graphite. Right? So let us first blend this much and then we will see if we want to add something more. Coming to the coffered look. Going to the next section, adding touches of graphite where lines are intersecting. Don't blend too much. What is already there on your tortillon may be sufficient, so no need to put graphite again and again. There's tiny spaces. Yeah. So just blend. Don't blend too much. Just a touch. Yeah. So done with that. Moving on to the next, that is our fengle. Inside, probably one side would be sufficient. The spaces are small. Yeah, so I'll just shade it on one side and do that for all. Banzo I'll just add in the center. So done with the blending, I am now going to use my brush pen and add a little more. This is the grey brush pen. Little more of darkness to my pencil. Since the spaces are small, you cannot go on and blend too much. So you might want to use your brush pen to re-emphasize a little the ends. Take your time and do that exercise, as it will add a little more as far as your shading is concerned. Yeah. And some on one side of the fingers. A little touch is all you need. So a little on the moons, probably just one side would be sufficient. Yeah, so let's blend that. So depending on the spaces that we have, we can always adjust our shading. Yeah, a little bit of chalk, where you have not added graphite. You can always add some here. Or you can break the lines when you draw them. A little touch on the Knight's Bridge. Maybe a little on the crescent moons. Not much, just a touch. That's about it. We are done. A little brush here. Right? So you can either stop here or you can extend it more. Again, that depends on you. A little chalk on the other side of the fengal where you have not added graphite would be a good idea. Gives that nice high and low. Since we have added on one side, right? So what I would do is a small little embellishment, right? You can either leave it here or you can add small little embellishment like this. Entirely up to you. These are bead lines commonly used in Zentangle, but whether or not you want to use it, entirely up to you. Yeah. So we are done with small little embellishment that we thought of doing, just like barbed wires. I've added bead lines, right? Very commonly used in Zentangle. So I'm now going to close my work here. Right, and I shall see you again with another new session. Till then, have a good time, stay safe, bye bye.